The Berillia. A behemoth of Coalition engineering, this Titanic transport class vessel is the pride and joy of Veras Station, where it was designed and remains exclusively produced. Early on in the history of Europan colonization, true large-scale transport vessels were few and far between. The lack of mass production facilities meant few stations could afford the production time to make such a vessel, let alone the actual material costs. Veras Station, however, as home to one of the landing pads of Sol Express, a now long-defunct interplanetary shipping company, could afford to dedicate its production to building the massive Berillia hulls, as they could rely on a steady supply of goods and manpower from Earthside. The shipping and political power this fleet of Berillias provided not only saw Veras Station through the turbulent days of early colonization, but allowed it to take its place as one of the inarguable jewels of the Coalition. Visitors to Veras Station to this day marvel at some of its near-Earth qualities of life, such as personal water heating and some of the only non-flickering deck lighting available in the Coalition. All of this station wealth and power becomes very easy to understand when you look at the monstrous Berillia specifications. The largest mainline production ship to scour the waters of Europa, the Berillia comes in at a monstrous 61 meters in length, with an equally astounding cargo capacity of 80, yes, 80 standard containers. This massive cargo capacity easily enables the crew manning a Berillia to move thousands of marks worth of goods in a single trip, often renowned for taking the entire outgoing cargo section of smaller outposts. As if this wasn't enough, the Berillia also supports a full industrial fabrication and deconstruction suite for the onboard refinement of ores or production of goods. The massive hull of the Berillia requires an equally potent amount of horsepower to achieve any semblance of speed, utilizing a pair of 26-cylinder Triumphanator engines to reach a top cruising speed of 16 km per hour. Its 3 ballast tanks, meanwhile, provided a descent velocity of 10 km per hour, but crews should keep in mind that due to the Berillia's size, these systems need a higher than normal amount of power in order to maintain proper velocity. To feed the Berillia's upscaled propulsion and ballast systems, it comes equipped with a second-generation Horn and Wang anvil model reactor, also upscaled to be capable of outputting a potent 6,500 kilowatts. As an earlier model reactor, the second-gen anvil can be a touch more fuel-hungry than more modern reactors, but it can be easily brought into line with some minor modifications. The Berillia's weapons complement may pale in comparison to attack or scout class vessels, but it's important to keep in mind its historic place as a transport vessel rather than a gunship. The vessel comes standard with a trio of Volt model coil guns mounted radially at the forward and rear keel, with a third mounted at the rear sail side of the submersible. In addition to this, the ship comes equipped with a pair of Stinger electrical discharge systems mounted at the central sail and keel, an internally mounted dump-it depth charge system, and a final hardpoint above the bow round out the Berillia's weapon complement. Although it's home to a number of aging technologies, the Berillia commands a 15,326 mark price tag due to the sheer amount of materials used in its construction and the outsourcing of a temporary pilot to bring the vessel to its new owner from Veras Station. In totality, the Berillia is a true leviathan of the Europan Navy, and a load-bearing one at that. Many fringe outposts would never have been able to be constructed without the supplies of steel and electronics delivered to them by the fleet of Berillias venturing forth from Veras Station. Despite their cushy home environment, Verasian crews are some of the bravest and most grim-faced crews in the Coalition, crediting their home station's success to the blood, sweat, and tears of its occupants. They all firmly believe in the station's motto, which remains emblazoned on the central fin of every Berillia: Vincit qui patitia. He who suffers wins.